I think at this point everybody knows what BJJ Fanatics is. Gary, do you know what BJJ Fanatics is?
Yeah, I think if you're involved in this world at all, you know what BJJ Fanatics is.
Just checking if you haven't been on the rock.
I mean, if it's your second, third time on the mats, you probably don't know. But after that, I'm sure stuff is filtering into you.
But listen, so in November I had privilege to work with those guys. The Gravity is Your Friend is out there available. But recently I flew back to Boston to shoot two more. So those will be coming out very soon. If you're searching for my name on BJJ Fanatics, there's only one. Then a couple more are coming down the pipe. Keep your ears and eyes open as the things unfold.
Yeah, bjjfanatics.com. Check them out. Awesome videos. Hey, I'm wondering, do you have a place where we could go to ask all those questions that always come up in jiu-jitsu?
You are lucky. You are very, very lucky. Ask a Black Belt on all podcast platforms, plus our YouTube channel. What I do is essentially I collect questions that you might have and the questions that I've had for all this time being on the mat and record them as a short individual episodes, about 3-4 minutes long, and just put them out there several times a week. So make sure you go, you follow, and tune in.
Yeah, absolutely. Check it out. Subscribe, download, all that stuff, and get those answers to the questions you've always wanted to ask.
Cameras are rolling.
Welcome to Wall Radio.
I'm going to do this Gary style.
What?
Real life.
Are you saying I'm boring, or I have a fantastically deep, rich voice?
I'm saying you have no emotions.
I have plenty of emotions.
By the way, I got quite a bit of feedback about the most recent one when we talked about you cursing and how much passion. A lot of people appreciated that.
Good. I'm happy. This makes me happy.
This show is going down.
Why is it? I mean, well, is there any other place? What do you mean going down? You said you got a lot of good feedback.
I didn't say good. I didn't say good. I rewind the tape.
Yeah,
I said a lot of feedback. There was no indication it was positive. There was no indication whether it was positive or negative.
You know it was. What's wrong? Hey, passion is a good thing.
Oh, absolutely it is. Oh.
So,
all right, stop making me laugh.
You didn't say we're live.
But
oh, you did say it.
I did say it.
Sillily? Is that a word? Sillily?
We are live.
That was awful. All right. What are we talking about here?
Struggle. You are struggling.
I'm not struggling. I'm struggling with someone. Yes.
Wait a minute. Are you trying to indicating are you struggling with me?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
you've done this for the past minute.
Oh, this one.
I don't know. Yeah. Great. Now you're going to bully me. That's all right, though. I'll get through it. It'll be a struggle I can handle. But we are talking about struggles, and we talked to Fabio Caloi about his struggles. And I think really importantly, how he became better because of them. What they made him stronger, both I think in his mindset mostly, right? Physically maybe came with that, but I think it was the mindset that really got stronger as he struggled during different periods. You know, he's used the word oscillate a few times, but I think there was a lot of peaks and valleys, and it was those struggles, those valleys, I guess, where once he figured things out, they made him into a better competitor, a better instructor, he even said. And so I just, how have you dealt with your struggles over the years? Or, and how have they, I guess, how do struggles influence people?
I don't know.
All right. I'm going to hit this record button. We're going to start over.
I think life should be those hills and valleys.
It's inevitable, right?
Well, I think closer it gets to that flatlining. And even if that flatlining is going up, I think the success or our learning curve or our improvement factor is smaller. And I'm not an expert on this, that's just my perception. I think these valleys, these downhills where we feel in the dark spots or life sucks right now, this is what propels us up to get up stronger and get harder. Now I know that most of us, some of us, we find them difficult and all that, but I really do believe that, no matter what life throws at us, somehow we always come out on top. There are some dark moments for some of us, and some of us don't come out of it, and some of us, struggle with that, but I do believe, and maybe I'm naive, maybe, I don't know, tell me, but I do believe that without struggles, without obstacles, without hard life, we wouldn't be able to accomplish things that we do accomplish. Mm-hmm. Life shouldn't be hard, shouldn't be easy. Life shouldn't be simple. Life should, it never was, it never will be, and if you think it is, you're fooling yourself. You're full of it. It's not. Nothing, not everything is bad in life, but there's a lot of hard things. And we're doing hard things. And we should be doing hard things. Without hard things, we cannot get better. We can't. If everything is handed to you, and everything is done for you, you don't have the drive. You cannot fix things. You cannot resolve problems. And you can look at this on a very small scale as an individual. You can look at this as a larger scale as a community. You can look at it even on a larger scale as a country or as a human generation or however you want to look at it. Anytime there is a struggle, we come out of it stronger. We do. There's multiple components behind it. You need a leader, you need motivators, you need people to do it, and so on. But we always come out of it stronger. So, what do you think?
I think you're a glass half full guy all of a sudden. I like it.
I'm always glass half full. I always I try to look at always at I look at myself as a realistic, positive person. I don't like negative in my life. I really don't. I think it drags me down and it gives me a bad.
But you don't also think everything is what?
Rainbows and unicorns.
Yes. It's been a while. It's back.
Yeah. No, life is not rainbows and unicorns.
Uh-huh.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
No, I don't think so. I mean, we try. Why do we try and make it that way for like our kids and stuff? I don't know. But I also think there has to be a balance where it's like you can do hard.
I do know why. I mean, I have an idea why. I have my opinion about it. I mean, listen, nobody wants their kids to fail.
Yeah, I think it's
there is not one parent who wants your child. Let me rephrase. We want our children to be successful. Mm-hmm. Okay, but what I think we underestimate how much power the failure has in their success.
Yeah. I think we don't also. I think we approach it a lot of times as we don't want them to make the same mistakes we made. So that's how we try and make that, and then that manifests in making things easier. I can see this mistake is coming. I'm gonna help them avoid it. Right, rather than.
So the question is, does that help them, or does it introduce other obstacles?
Well, I think it depends on the mistake. Is the mistake blowing off their homework? Well, that needs some. You need to run interference on that. You need to correct that and make sure they don't make that mistake. But is the mistake, they got a competition or they've got something coming up where they're going to have to perform and they're not really giving it their all? Well, maybe it's time for them to fall on their face a little bit and then you work through it, right? Then you work through that struggle and then they've learned a lesson rather than just being carried through something or pointed in the right direction the whole time or, handheld.
Yeah, I mean, listen, again, I think every parent wants their kids to be successful. I think every parent wants their kids to do better than the parent has done, right? So we want them to be better. We want to make their life easier. Like, I would like for my kids to be better, more successful than I have done in my life. I would like for their life to be easier. I would. But at the same time, I do understand that if I give them everything, they will not learn. There's no life lessons in everything being good. And my wife always makes fun of me, but like it is a life lessons. Whether it's the tantrum being thrown on the floor and kicks and screams and all that.
Well, stop doing it.
The fact of nobody responding to you is a life lesson.
Oh, you're talking about your kids?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh no, if I do tantrum, it's like.
Well, I thought that's why Carrie was always making fun of you, because you're throwing yourself on the floor.
Yeah, I think there was a 4 moment I missed. Anyway, but like whether it's that or it's something larger, like what happens if I don't do my homework? I mean, we can push our kids to saying, hey, listen, you need to do your homework. We need to do your homework. You need to do your homework. But there's one way really to find out what happens if you don't do your homework. Don't do one.
Yeah.
Right? And again, I think the very fine line behind these struggles is the lesson that you learn from the result. And that is the key. Right? The lesson itself is hard. Some of them are harder than others. Some of them are very impactful in our life. Some of them are, even to the point where we feel destroyed. Those are big lessons. But there is a lesson behind it.
Yeah.
And if we choose not to look at the lesson, literally now you're accepting what happened to you, but you're not making any progression forward from it. So you're not making any adjustments. One, so this doesn't happen again. But two, you're really not bettering yourself. And if you're not bettering yourself, then what are you doing? Right? I mean, if you look at it from just, as humans, we starve for knowledge. We want to learn, right? Especially in Jiu-Jitsu. Why do you think people come to Jiu-Jitsu classes? Because they don't come, even
why do they come back? Maybe not why do they
or even
come,
why do they join?
Yeah.
Why do they join? Like, I mean, the social component is a big part of it, and there's definitely some pockets of individuals who drive more on the social and from a social perspective than the Jiu-Jitsu itself. But no matter what, there is this hunger to learn. Right? That's why we often say if you are a natural troubleshooter, if you love solving puzzles, Jiu-Jitsu is for you. Like you're gonna get immersed into, trying to fix problems all the time, and that's huge. So I think naturally we are hungry for knowledge. We want to get better. We want to learn new things. We want to improve naturally. Just the question is, are you really taking the lessons that you are presented in front of you, and are you converting them into a something that doesn't have to be positive, but are you converting it into a lesson? Are you improving yourself?
Well, are you learning from it?
Right. Are you learning
and
from
applying
it? Right.
after?
Right. And honestly, I really don't like this saying. You either win or you learn. I really don't like that. I try never use that. But there is something behind that.
Yeah, I don't think that. I don't think people look. People don't look into that statement. They just think, like unicorns and rainbows, that if I lose, I'll learn something. But no, I think what it is that if you lost, well, why did you lose? Mm-hmm. Right? Ask yourself those questions, or have somebody else ask them to you, and then you can learn. And it doesn't. The wins and losses will still be there. But it's did you learn anything from those losses? We've talked to people who also talk about learning things from their wins. You have to learn how to win. And I think when you don't analyze those things is when you stay stagnant. You don't develop in any way, whether you're talking about at Jiu-Jitsu or outside of Jiu-Jitsu. It doesn't matter. You just kind of are just kind of floating along, and you don't have those peaks and valleys, which I think maybe people are scared. You're scared to succeed because of failure along the way. It's much easier, I think.
Coast.
It's easier to coast in real time.
In the comfort.
Yeah, and you're comfortable for a while, but that's going to come up. Something's going to come up down the line where that coasting isn't going to benefit you, and where those struggles, if you would have had them. When this new thing pops up, you're going to be able to deal with it better.
I think you talk to anybody who's successful in whichever domain they are in, they will tell you there is no winning or there's no success in comfort.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have
you
to,
gotta step out.
you have to step out of your comfort zone. You have, and if you're not doing it, you have to. Like that's not even an option, in my opinion. You have to put yourself in the vulnerable spots. You have to take risks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like forget about all of this. Life is easy. Everything is given to me. You know, I'm just going to coast through. I'm going to avoid all the obstacles. This is where it's just going to crumble on top of you at some point.
Yeah, and even if it doesn't, I think you'll hit a certain age where you're like, what have I done?
What have I done? Right.
I haven't done
exactly.
anything.
I haven't done anything.
I did all the things I
And
was
that- I think
maybe
that's-
supposed to do. I went to school. I got a job. I had a family. I have a house. You know, it's not like we're not talking about people that like don't do anything. They have those ideals, you know, that we're supposed to have of, like I said, an education, a job, a house, a family, but they never took any real risks or stepped out their comfort zone. And you know, that's why do people have a bucket list? They have a bucket list because they didn't do anything until they got to a certain age where they're like, oh shit, I got to cross this stuff off my list before it's too late.
Yeah.
Well, you know, if you start crossing things off your list in your when you're a kid because your parents make you, and then you know you start venturing out on your own as a teen and you're making your own decisions and choices with the freedoms you're allowed at that point. You know, you might still have some things on your bucket list, like I never made it to Africa, but you're going to have a lot of those things, I think, crossed off, and you're going to be a much more fulfilled person if you step out of your comfort zone, if you learn from those struggles, because when you're stepping out, you fail. I think you're just going to have a much richer existence.
And it's been proven over and over and over. There's studies on this. When we find a point of success, when we find a task completed, there are chemicals released in our brain which give us satisfaction. This is where we feel, you know, some energy, you know, within us. We feel boosted, you know, and that drives us forward. But when there's a point of failure, this is where the reflection comes in, and this is what's powerful for us to propel forward again, right? I think what's interesting is behind this conversation is that, you know, success is often associated with pat on the back, a reward, people being proud of us, and often we drive for that. We want other people to recognize us in some capacity, whether it's thumbs up or, you know, something a little bit more significant. The struggles don't have any of that. Matter of the fact, you know, nobody will congratulate you on anything while you're working on your thing. You see what I'm saying? They will congratulate you when you're done with it.
Yeah.
Because now everybody sees the result.
Yeah. Well,
So-
we're very result focused in our society,
Right.
instead of journey focused and,
Right.
and progression focused.
Right.
You know, we just had a graduation ceremony here at the academy, and all these people that got promoted. Well, there's a lot of people that are like, that's, you know, I'm sure there's people out there that are like, oh, it's just they just got their blue belt, or yeah, it's cool they got their purple belt finally. Instead of focusing on what it took in the year or 2 or 3 or 4 to get, you know, we talked about it. This is what this is for, you know, is to recognize the dedication, the challenges you've gone through, the struggles, the hard work. You know, this is just this symbolizes all of that. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't symbolize that you can mop the mats with everybody. It should symbolize how hard you work to get to this level. And whether you've got blue belt A and blue belt B, and one taps everybody out and the other one gets tapped out a lot, they should both be recognized for the progression that they're making, and not just A who's always, you know, beating everybody, who's tapping out purple belts and making brown belts struggle. I think that other guy should be recognized for everything too, and showing up and putting in the hard work, and not, who did we talk to? I don't remember who it was. I think it might have been Mike Bidwell, who says don't celebrate the exhaustion. Like,
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
It was Mike. Yeah. Don't lay down on the ground and
Yeah,
see
so-
how exhausted you're, huffing and puffing.
Right.
You know, this is the moment when you actually get up, take your breath, and go back grinding.
Yeah, right. And so who should be recognized, really? The dude that had an easy roll and he tapped everybody out because of whatever his skill set is and his age and his athleticism, or that other dude that comes twice a week, no matter what, comes to open mat and gets handled pretty severely, but at the end of every round he gets up, he gets a drink, he fixes his belt and walks over to somebody else and says, you want to roll. I think the people that are on that side definitely need to be acknowledged more. That's all.
Well, I agree 100%. I mean, and as long as we keep in mind that, again, this shouldn't be easy. The grind is part of it. Struggle is part of it. Nobody will give you a pat on the back while you're on the bottom of the pit. Nobody will. They will congratulate you when you're on top, and it's up to you. It's up to you to get up, get back in there, grind it again. Again and again.
Proudest moment I've had as a father is my daughter got up off the mat crying and said, I didn't quit. I can't ask for anything more than that. I don't care if she was on bottom the whole round. I don't care what happened. I didn't quit. No, you didn't. And that's something that I'll remember. And I'm being passionate, but I'm not going to swear. That's something that I'll remember for the rest of my life. And I think it's a good lesson for her. And I don't know why she felt the need. Maybe I was riding her a little too hard that week. I have no idea. Maybe something happened at home. But I don't know why she felt the need to get up and make that statement to me. But I bet it's something that, even though she might not remember the circumstances, it left an imprint in her brain that she can do the hard things. She doesn't have to quit when things become a struggle.
Well, and that's a good example of, listen, as parents, as leaders, as instructors, or some of these functions, these guiding functions that we have in people's life, our job is to show them the path, and that's it. They gotta dust off the leaves. They gotta remove the boulders. They gotta walk around, find, and continue up that path as it continues. It's not my job to walk it. It's yours.
No, but you can be there with your hand out a little bit.
Absolutely.
I'm shoving from behind a little bit.
I'm there to guide you. You gotta walk it.
Yeah, for sure. Excuse me. Are we done?
It was all fine before. Now you coughing? What are you doing?
You know my current struggle, and you're going to make fun of me for it?
Life lesson. Life is not easy. Suck it up.
I can see I'm on this path all by myself. All right, let's wrap this nonsense up. Check out the episode with Fabio. He's a great guy, super entertaining, and he's got a lot to offer. So I was happy today.
On to the next one.
Peace.
Later.
Thank you for listening to Raw Radio. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a review and help us make the show even
You had the last word. I just said peace.
Later.
Check out our website and follow us on all major podcast platforms. Take care.